All right, coming to you live from Central Park, New York.
Well, you're
Sean
in
Martin.
you're in. Is it raining there in LA yet?
Not yet. We're getting ready apparently for some what do they call it? River water, rain river,
The river.
something.
Yeah, I can't remember what is it.
It's something that is going to bring a lot of water
Yes.
if you are right under that river. And the last time you were in Venice, so you had the canal, and I'm assuming it's going to be kind of like a canal, but goes on top of your head, and if you got no good luck, you're going to be
No,
right under
right
that. So I
underneath it.
hope, I'm crossing my finger that I'm not in the path of
Right.
that. But right now it's sunny, and I see it's
Yeah.
sunny there, sunny,
It's
sun setting.
so evidently I haven't been here, but evidently it's been 11 days straight of no sun, and
In
today
New
it's sunny.
York.
And
Yeah.
today it's sunny.
Well, welcome
So
back.
so I'm taking advantage of the sun. As you can tell from my gloves, it's
Yeah,
freezing here.
it's freezing.
Not
Yeah,
quite
well,
freezing,
as
but
you can
cold
tell
enough.
from my short sleeves, it's not freezing here. So sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah,
Very
so I
good.
went through the park, Central Park, just cruising along. Uh, Lots of music today. Well, always music in the park, which is
I
cool.
know you sent me a drummer, the
I
video of the
know.
drummer. You
I
just
think
did.
it's rare. Sometimes there are bands with a drummer. Sometimes there are bands without a drummer. It's rare to find just a drummer. So he was playing today, and yeah, really good, really good. So I enjoy listening to people playing in the park and supporting them, and so yeah, that was fun. And had a nice double espresso to keep the insides warm, and to boost my energy for the walk around the park. I like
Now
to get in usually 15 to 20,000 steps in a day when I'm out like this. So we'll see
well,
how well I do.
it looks nice. You have
That's nice.
you have a
Yeah,
backdrop that
down is
it's.
the
There you go.
the
There.
ice skating rink down there. I don't know if you can see the people or not, but yeah, pretty pretty nice out today.
Ah,
Let's do a quick scan around. But yeah, I mean a good week. Good week. Lots of recordings. I have a big pile of pile doesn't sound right. Doesn't sound
no, you
a
know,
big
like a pile of vinyls. Are you recording on
yeah.
vinyl disc? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I have a stack. There we go. A nice stack of
Stack.
episodes.
Nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
ready to
Go through the
drop
stock
ready to drop on the onto the turntable.
on the player, like in the back here.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. Yeah, it's
So
just like that.
tell me about that. I'm gonna interview you for a couple of minutes. So lately, what are the hottest conversation and what is coming up?
Well, it's interesting, and I didn't plan it. Sometimes I'm inspired by topics I see on social media, typically LinkedIn. Other times it's uh, I haven't talked to somebody in a while, and I reach out and say, hey, let's talk about something. So I've had a few of the latter that are up in the queue for this next week or two, and they were interestingly enough connected. So cyber insurance and risk management and paying ransom and policies around whether are we in a point or at a point where we can actually ban paying ransoms? Do we have the technology and the processes, or and then interesting during the conversation, do we have the mindset to actually
That's a
not
big question.
not pay, or do we just say screw it, we're going to pay anyway, because that's just how we've kind of evolved over time. So some really interesting conversations there, and I'm trying to remember who. Yeah,
Let
Sean
me ask
Tuma.
you
Oh yeah,
something, because I mean, I have cybersecurity conversation with you, especially when there's business and the social engineering, the human part. But lately I've focused on one thing, you focus on another. But when it comes to cybersecurity, I feel like there is still conversation that they try to silos those conversation in a
mm,
specific aspect of security. And I feel, because I look at society in general and everything affect the other, I feel like cybersecurity is the same thing. How can you just talk about one thing without taking into consideration many other million variables?
It's interesting. That question was posed differently to me recently, in that if you're talking about cybersecurity, are you not talking about risk and compliance specifically, or GRC, governance, risk, and compliance? And it made me scratch my head. It's like, well, just because I'm the chief security or chief information security officer doesn't mean that I don't think about governance, risk, and compliance, and can't speak to governance, risk, and compliance, nor the other way around. Now, certainly larger organizations, they may have the role
Right.
separated, but there has to be a lot of collaboration between those roles, and you can't separate it. And I think we even see full in privacy, and you see some overlap there. Different objectives, of course, with privacy from a business perspective, but when you're looking at it from a security and data protection and controls perspective, there's just a ton of overlap between cybersecurity and privacy, and then clearly risk management, governance, risk, and compliance.
Right.
Um, yeah, so I think there's also a lot of movement in the area of not just looking at cybersecurity and GRC as programs, but I think, well, certainly with the SEC notification, there's a lot of drive to run programs in support of GRC. So not just using GRC or compliance, which has been kind of in the past leading up to recent years, using compliance to drive security programs. I think we're seeing security programs being developed so that they can demonstrate compliance, and it's not just compliance to PCI or HIPAA, but it's who do you, in the event of a material incident, who do you notify? How do you notify them? When do you notify them? Do you do that through a particular set of tools or systems, or I don't know. There's just so much interaction now between the groups. It struck me, that comment.
And it doesn't it make you think, at least me, all the things you said make me think like it's again more of a preventive kind of thinking cybersecurity than reactive, right? Like
Yeah.
if you want to prevent, you need to look at all these angles and don't wait for something that happened and then, oh yeah, that doesn't regard me, it regard this other group. So if you work all together, you may have more success in preventing
Yeah.
or limiting the effect of
Yeah.
a cyber attack.
Yeah.
But we
Absolutely.
don't think like that as human, you know that.
I know.
Until you hit the
I
head
know.
in the wall, it's just like
That's right. We have to feel a little pain before we take action. So the one more thing that I want to talk about. So some of the stuff you've been working on is I also had a chance to speak with the new executive director of the AI ISAC, so the Information Sharing Association, and yeah, it's interesting what they're doing, because most of the, and I'll be publishing this conversation in the next couple of weeks. Most of the ISACs are sector or industry specific. Financial services ISAC, the healthcare ISAC, automotive ISAC, go down the list. They're all very sector or industry oriented. The AI ISAC is twofold. One, it's all about information sharing around AI, but also supporting all the other ISACs with injecting AI ISAC stuff into their program. So it's a pretty lofty, adventure, or lofty goal, I should say, maybe, that group has. And Sidney Pearl was the gentleman I got to speak to there. And I hope to have another conversation with him, because we barely scratched the surface on all the things we're doing. But I'm hoping to speak with the FS ISAC team here in the next few weeks as well, to get their perspective on changes in what they're working on related to AI and other things. Fraud is another, ransomware is another topic that I had a conversation on. So I want to hear about what's going on there. It's great to have kids running around.
Yeah, ask them about
That's
cybersecurity.
right. What do you think about cybersecurity?
Well, some of them they may know way more than what we
Probably.
think they do.
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I wanted to. I know you've done some really amazing conversations. I was fortunate to be on one of the chats with you. But tell me a little bit about some of the things you've been working on.
Yeah, quickly. Yeah, you were on it. It was many of the latest were related to CS, and the one in between. I actually talk about the stuck. See, I can use the word stuck myself. The tech stuck,
There
and
you go.
in the law environment, so in the legal environment. And I talked
Yep.
to Colin Levi, who wrote a book about how they're using in the legal department and lawyers practice technology. And the funny part is that he wrote it a little ahead of the time that AI, generative AI, become mainstream. So like a year ago. And so I asked him. I said, would you write something different if you had to rewrite it today?" And he was like, "Well, I'll probably cover the same basic, but definitely, I'll have to add a chapter or two about generative AI and how not to use it." And it's quite regulated. It's kind of like when you talk at the medical industry. But to go back on the CS, it's been 11 conversation with really bright people. You've been on some of those. And the big
Not as one of the bright people, of course.
no, you were one of them. I mean, I feel like such an imposter when I talk to these people, but I guess at least I can carry the conversation, so I ask questions. But the one that you were on, and it was fantastic, was the grand finale. Was with the Undersecretary of Science and Technology for the Department of Homeland Security, Dr. Dmitry Kuznetsov. I even learned how to say that name.
That's
and
right.
He was really cool. 45 minutes of incredible conversation about a panel that he had on at CES about the fifth revolution, which you were making fun of being one new album from the Beatles.
That's right. Number nine.
And he was actually very, very cool about that. I mean, really
cool.
great guy.
I love that conversation.
Yeah. So I want to invite everybody to listen to that, and there will be many more about AI. A lot of the people that we had on for CS, they're gonna come back because we did like a 20 minutes portion. Well, with Dr. Kuznetsov was a bigger one, longer one, but I left so much uncovered that I want to bring them back.
It's hard to cover everything in 20 minutes.
No, it's hard to cover in an hour.
But still, 20 minutes is enough to get people to think.
Yeah.
I certainly thought very differently about stuff after that.
Yeah, that's another thing that I really enjoy, and I think you do too, is to have a guest coming back.
Yeah.
And kind of like taking this conversation where we left it. There's something familiar as a host to have a person you already talked with before and say, okay, did even our conversation the first time make you change your mind or look at things in a different way? And now we want to go deeper in that. Because I always leave it like, I wish we had more time.
I know. Well, I always ask them one more question.
Yeah, well.
You love that.
It's the thing. Since when we don't do as many of my show together, I actually finish at 30 minutes, 35. Yeah, and then I see yours. They're still like in the 45, 50.
Somehow I can't figure that out.
But it's
I
good.
pretend you're on. I just ask all the questions you would normally ask.
Right, with the stick
That's
to
right.
finish. But everybody has his own style, and I get it. Your kind of conversation, your audience is an audience that is most of the time already at the sea level. It's a practitioner, so if they're interested in a conversation, they want you to go deeper. Mine may be a little bit more educating people that are interested in a topic, but maybe they're not. It's more of a one-on-one sometimes kind of conversation and make men think. So either or, it works. And I can't wait for other conversation we're going to have together now that we start to setting up for RSA conference.
Yep.
And not
InfoSec
to
Europe.
hammer people again about that, but we are excited, so people
Yeah.
should be as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for sure.
Yep.
And yeah, I already have some ideas in mind for what we're going to do in the broadcast alley.
Well, I've seen my friend.
I'm not going to spill the beans just yet.
I've seen my friend at RSA conference. Now they're confirming some of the talk. I know that some of our friends are going to give talks there this year. They've been accepted, so congratulations to them. I'm not going to mention them here, but I will in the future. And again, they're going to talk a lot about the human element. So I told them already, our friends there at RSA, I feel like right in my environment. So
Exactly.
I will get a good use of the broadcast alley. I don't know yet who I'm going to have on the panel, but I'm sure there's going to be somebody from university researcher and people that look at the human aspect of things. So
Exactly.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
I will tease that we'll chat with some of the villages
Yep.
as part of our chats on the road. So for sure, Aviation Village, and we're chatting with the AppSec Village team. We love them, and of course, having built apps for most of my career, AppSec is a big area that I'm interested in. So,
well, me having taken many flights in my life, I'm interested in the aerospace. No, aerospace, I can't not. I mean, they're good friends. I mean, Steve Lusinski and Henry, they're just amazing. So it's a classic.
Henry's amazing.
It's a classic for us to have a conversation with them. So looking forward to that. Everybody stay tuned. You should keep enjoying the day until you can
I'm
hold
gonna
the
keep
cold.
getting my steps in, and I might have to get
freeze.
another maybe a hot chocolate this time.
There you go. I was going to suggest that, a hot chocolate. All right. Well,
And my eyes are watering from the cold.
well, thank you for braving the elements to connect with me and to our audience. I'm just sitting in the office here. So, but maybe that one of the next, I don't know if it's the next or the one after, I will be on the road.
You're going to be mobile.
So
exactly.
I have to find my lapel mic.
Which means I'll have to be stationary.
Well, no, you can still walk around. We'll see what's going on. We'll see what's going on. Everybody, thank you for listening,
thanks, everybody.
catching up. And Sean, thank you for finding the time in your walk. I'm very jealous, and I will be there soon in New York.
Yes,
so
please. I know you'll be.
It's a promise.
Yeah, very good.
I'm getting closer. I'm not going to disclose where I'm going to be, but I will definitely be much closer than LA.
Perfect.
Bye, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
We're out.